Try again.
Alright, we are on microphone. We are here to do. What are we doing? You tell us what we're doing.
Well, what we're doing is I'm going to educate you about the world of professional wrestling. As you told me, you know like the major players like the John Cena's and the Stone Colds and the Steve Austins, but I don't know if you've actually really watched outside of a few clips here and there.
Not a single piece. I feel like I know CM Punk just from that one video because I was like, oh, that's so cute. Um,
Yeah,
but even the other ones that you mentioned, I think I know The Rock and John Cena just because like I've seen them or not seen them before.
yeah,
But other than that, that's about it.
yeah. That's I'm here to educate you. You're big into UFC. So it's not it's there's similarities, but they're obviously completely different at the same time.
Yeah,
Um, this is another go around. Just I think with this you have to look under the lens of it. It's not trying to pretend to be a fake fight, if that makes sense.
it's not trying to be pretend.
It's not trying to pretend it's a real fight, I should have said.
Okay, okay.
It's like it's
It's theater.
kind of like it's theater. It's like it's basically like it's sports entertainment, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So do you have on the screen what's going on right now?
What do you mean?
What's happening on Monday Night Raw? You have it up, right?
I just have I have the background. It's the two dudes, the one I sent you, the two dudes and the us.
And the us.
And the us.
Uh,
But not the video. For
so
anybody who's watching, join on Discord or whatever. It's on Netflix, live on Netflix right now. So watch along with us and we'll do whatever commentary situationship.
yeah, so this would be good for people who really don't know anything about wrestling and they would like see an entranceway. I think a lot of people saw the John Cena memes and all their friends, and they still probably don't understand it. Well, this is a place for you, and this is also a place for someone to watch someone else get familiarized with it if you're that tickles your fancy.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
I'm
So you have
first looks just wild. It looks fun.
yeah. So you have what's going on right now with Punk, correct, and Rollins and Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, this is actually this storyline what's playing out right now is actually like literally like 10, 11 years in the making, and this is like a legitimate like hatred. This isn't like it's played on TV now, but this stems from an actual like real life dislike of each other.
Oh.
um
What do they
yeah,
do to each
so
other?
11 years ago, CM Punk actually quit the WWE because he didn't like how he was being treated. He felt that he was being like manipulated. He felt like the doctors weren't taking the proper care of him. Um, and like he was basically being worked to death. So he left. He said, I don't need this job. I fulfilled my obligations. I don't want to do this anymore. I have no passion. And he was gone for pretty much 10 years, like legitimately left the company for 10 years. Um, Sued them.
Hmm.
Yeah, he sued WWE, he sued their doctors, and Seth
Did that turn out
Rollins
for
at
him?
this how did it turn out for him? I do believe he won the suit, at least one of them,
Hmm.
or there was like a settling out of court.
Hmm. Hmm.
But Seth Rollins had like looked up to CM Punk at this time, but he took issue that CM Punk, when he left, he tried to make everyone quit with him. Whereas Seth Rollins was just starting to get his momentum and like get his big break. He's like, I'm not gonna leave right now. Like, no, there's no other wrestling company in the world that's gonna pay me the money I'm making here. Like, I worked my whole life to get here, and now you just want me to just up and quit because your feelings got hurt.
Hmm.
Um, so they basically had like a long, like actual beef.
Okay, and he
Um,
hasn't been on since then.
so CM Punk came back in 2023.
Okay.
Um,
Because I was like,
after
excited that it was him. I was just like weird that like my first time watching this, it's this dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
He seems
yeah.
fun.
But but yeah, he came back like 10 years ago. He likes like now that Vince McMahon is no longer in control, he likes the direction the company's going.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, and
And it's
now
also having
like
a revamp, like UFC as well, like recently.
yeah, I feel like it's getting a lot more momentum and getting a lot
Hmm.
more popular again. So the person you see on screen right now, I know I have to jump ahead, is Penta.
Hmm.
Uh, Penta is a famous luchador. He's made his name like outside the WWE. He recently debuted for WWE back in January. Like he's been wrestling for years, but I'm pretty confident. Uh, Forgive me if I'm wrong. Anyone in the chat, that this is his first major break in the WWE. I should clarify. I'm not sure if it's his like the first time he's ever stepped foot
Hmm.
like in general. But yeah, he has stepped foot. He's pretty much undefeated, and there's a bunch of people on the roster that are out for his head.
Is there like belts and stuff that they get? Right, they do.
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, there's actually a lot of belts going on right now. Like it almost like hard to keep count of them all because there's a lot. So this is the video game.
But is it the same
Um,
divisions and stuff? Like, is it divisions
they
as
have
well?
women's divisions, they have tag divisions.
But not necessarily like a weighted situation. I mean, I guess you don't really need
Mm,
to with
No, it's not.
UFC, but
They have had like cruiserweight titles,
hmm.
but other than that, like you're pretty much free to go with whatever belt. I
Okay,
think the cruiserweight belt, the cruiserweight belt's the only exception to the rule.
okay. Cruiserweight is like,
Cruiserweight's like under, it's like 205 or less.
oh, okay, interesting. Hmm,
Yeah,
cool.
but yeah,
I don't know why I would think that it's like 205 or more.
205 or less is a cruiserweight. So that's like the lighter people,
Hmm. Okay.
which might sound a bit bonkers because I feel like in UFC, like 205 is like closer to heavyweight,
Yeah. Right.
but like wrestlers are a lot more. I want to say they're like in better shape, but they're definitely a lot more beefed up on average, I would say.
Did you say that they're in better shape than UFC
No,
fighters?
I
Okay.
wouldn't
I
say
was
they're
like,
in
are
better
you
shape.
sure?
I'm just saying they're more like beefed up, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on what you're using your spices for. Like whether
Yeah.
it's fighting or whether it's like for show, like you definitely want to look better.
Yeah,
Um,
like you're more likely to see a 300-pound wrestler than you would like a UFC fighter.
mhm.
Because I feel like I could be wrong. Is 300-pound like UFC fighter like an anomaly? Like it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I don't feel like.
Hello?
I feel like what is it? Heavyweight is. I don't. I don't. Let's Google what heavyweight is. But I feel like it's like 205.
Okay, so right here, this is Logan Paul. I'm sure you know who he is.
Mm.
Are you a fan of Logan Paul?
Not particularly.
Well, he's in the WWE.
Okay.
How do you think about that? Do you think it's a proper match?
I have no idea. I don't actually. I don't think I follow any of these people on the internet, so I'm fresh off the unknowing boat right now.
Right, right. So, do you know
206 to
of Logan
265
Paul?
is heavyweight. No, tell me everything. Just pretend I've just come out of the womb. Oh, that man looks sad
Well,
and shirtless.
it's just okay. So Logan Paul is like a pretty like easily hateable person.
Okay.
Kind of a perfect fit for wrestling, if I'm being honest, because like you just kind of see him and you want to see him get beat up.
Hmm,
And like the best part of wrestling is getting someone you want to cheer for beat up someone you want to see get beat up.
that's
And that's
cute.
pretty much like the grits of it all, if that makes
Does that
sense.
cage come down?
Yes, that will be the main event.
Oh, and then they're just like stuck in the cage together.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
cute.
get to the rules of like a steel cage match, but you either win by pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage.
Escaping the cage?
Yes, escaping the cage.
But it's a cage.
Yeah, you either climb up or you ask the
Oh,
outside referee to open the door.
there's like a it's open top cage.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or there's a door you could go through.
I was like, how does that work if there's no hole to exit? You must turn into Snake and escape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's also like it's called Hell in a Cell. There's a cage that like doesn't have a hole at the top. Are you there?
I am here. Yes, I'm just looking
Oh,
at the Netflix. Okay, so Logan Paul, you were saying. So is
oh yeah,
there's always like a bad guy and a good guy kind of thing.
yeah. But like he's an outsider who like honestly like in terms of like wrestling ability, how he got so good so fast is so unfair.
Do they have to actually wrestle?
Yes.
Okay, so
He,
it's
well,
like
not every celebrity, but like he is signed as a professional wrestler, so it's not like all the time, but he will wrestle on occasion.
okay. Do you know if any of the fighters I was just testing the volume. Do you know if any of the fighters fight anywhere else outside of this?
Before, in under the world of like Vince McMahon, that like very rarely, if ever, happened. It happened more in the 80s and 90s, but like after WWE got like more like a monopoly of the market, it never really happened. But now since Vince McMahon has been like booted from the company, and Triple H is like taking the helms. It happens a lot more frequently where you'll see WWE wrestlers they'll wrestle in Japan or they'll go to Mexico and so on. It's not they'll still like be predominantly in WWE unless they like purposely send someone somewhere else.
Hmm.
But it does happen now.
Hmm. That's cool.
So I can't actually hear Logan Paul. What do you think about what he's saying?
He sounds like he's chirping a lot.
Yeah, is
that
he someone you would root for?
um I don't know. So far I don't really have quite an opinion. He seems very Gen Z. He reminds me of Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Are
I
they
mean, it's his
related?
brother.
Okay,
But
they're
yeah, it's
related.
his brother.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So
Did you really just ask that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know celebrities. I don't really care about celebrities. Like,
Kidding.
if I'm following
Yeah, I'm
someone
not even sure.
or something, even before like all of this, like I just never really cared about celebrities. I'm like, okay, congratulations to you being famous. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
No, I trust me, I know what you mean.
But even Jake Paul before like the Tyson fight, I knew nothing about him. And then after that happened, I was like, you just beat up an old man. Like,
Yeah, that was
cool. Not that Tyson's an old man, but like, you know.
old for an athlete.
Yeah, right. Did you see
So
Tyson's
yeah,
cheeks that day though? Mm.
they really had to show that of
Yeah.
everything, and I don't even
But
think
also,
that was
why
one
is
of
he
the few
wearing that?
parts that were Nike.
Oh, he's not very nice.
Oh,
Very fun. So is he like a dick in real life too, though?
um, not like this, like abrasive, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's done some pretty like scummy things.
Mm. Is is like Jake Paul and Logan Paul? Did they get like famous from this basically?
They were YouTubers pretty
Mm.
much.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like started like boxing, like UFC fighters.
Mm.
And then WWE was a natural like transition because like, you know, like their athleticism. So this is AJ Styles. So
Mm.
he's like I would say closer to the end of his career. He actually made his name in a company that's called TNA. I'm not sure if you've heard of them.
Mm-mm.
Um, for the longest time, they were the number two wrestling promotion in the world.
Hmm.
And he basically was like the face of that whole brand. Like I would say he was like the face of the whole brand. Like it felt like TNA was the AJ Styles show
Hmm.
until eventually like he left because they had contract disputes and he went somewhere else. He went to Japan, made his name, and eventually WWE wanted to sign him because like it's harder, especially in that era. It was a lot harder for a wrestler to become famous without stepping foot in WWE because WWE was like pretty much the only game in town for the most part.
Hmm.
Not the only game in town, but the only like one that people like the masses like immediately recognized.
Hmm.
And he actually made a name for himself like outside of the WWE like bubble. And when he came in like 2016, he basically went like right to the top. He won the world title like within less than a year, which is very like rare, especially for someone of his size, because um, there's always like been more of a preference for like people 6 feet and over in professional wrestling.
Hmm.
So he's like he broke a lot of ground like being the size he is. It's just like if you see some like hit some of his older matches, you would be like, how is this like even like possible to do like or even like think of?
Wild. I mean, that's a lot of like athleticism, regardless with what
Yeah,
they're doing and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like he's actually pretty. I think he's like the most jacked he's been this whole his whole career. But in terms of like sheer athleticism, he is closer to the end of his career. He's like
Hmm.
well into his 40s. But
Yeah.
like I still think he can go.
But like they're not actually like getting hurt though, right? Like
They
except
are
for
getting hurt.
well, like but
Like
do they?
they're
They're
not
not like eating
trying.
punches, right? Like they're trying not to do that, but they get hurt. Like
They're
obviously all of that is very painful and
well, it's like
exhaustive.
it's more like a wear and tear type thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like say
yeah,
like you do like a manual labor job,
yeah.
like
Mhm.
you're not trying to hurt yourself, but eventually it just kind of breaks you down.
Mhm.
And like accidents do happen. Like he's like broke like he actually returned not too long ago in his first match back. I'm pretty sure he like broke his leg.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
like they're doing quite it's like stunts, right? Like they're doing
yeah.
a
It's
lot of
it's
stuff.
it's it's cooperation, but like accidents do happen.
Mhm. It's very flashy, very fun.
Yeah, I'd like for them to get to a match so you could see how like a match is supposed to look because they've just been talking, which
Yeah,
just
it's like are
gets
they
kind of annoying
they
if
get
I'm being
more
honest.
spicy, I hope.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll just okay. And
Yay
I'm not sure. Have
meow.
you heard of Rhea Ripley?
A what?
Rhea Ripley?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, I wasn't sure, but like she's basically like the number one girl in the division, like in terms of star power. Like I genuinely know people who do not watch wrestling but are like enamored by Rhea Ripley.
Is she on
And
the
it's like
screen?
multiple person. Yeah, it's the goth girl.
Oh, cute. Yeah. No, I would definitely watch the women's situations. That just looks like fun.
I would say like one thing WWE's done a lot better is like they've actually presented the women as like credible athletes. Because
Mhm.
when you go back in the olden days, like especially like 2000 to like 2015, they
Mhm.
were basically like just like um dolls, and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
They were hired specific. They were models that like did a bit of wrestling. They were hired strictly for sex appeal.
Yeah.
Like they didn't care if they were athletic or not. They just wanted them in like bra and panties matches and swimsuits.
Yeah.
But so like now like they've really upped the game. They've shown that women can actually like compete in like a physical like capacity.
Mhm.
And they've made a lot of strides, and Ray Ripley is at the top of the chart as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it looks really
Because
great.
she looks freaking jacked, man.
Mhm.
Like she looks like she could legit beat up a lot of the dudes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, she looks thick as fuck.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, the other thing I
Like,
noticed like almost immediately was I was just like, oh, it's weird to see a ref touching people, or like at the very beginning there where we logged in and he was just like had him in like a chokehold. I'm like, oh, that's a way to stop or separate the two of them.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
but super different from the UFC.
I think we might have a match now. We'll see. There's been a lot of talking. Oh, I don't even.
There's a lot of
Oh,
people there though. That's really cool.
yeah, they're in Madison Square Garden actually.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know Madison Square Garden. That's the most famous like sports arena there is.
Mhm. Yeah, what do they just have? They had something there recently, or maybe one of the fights is being held there soon. But I'm pretty sure UFC does Madison Square Garden like quite often.
Yeah, it's a big time arena. So this is the New Day. New Day's been like a faction for like 11 years.
Mm.
So they had a third man in their faction that he legitimately broke his neck in 2022 and he still has not been cleared to wrestle ever again
Oh
because
wow.
it's like neck is like that fragile.
Yeah.
So not too long ago, like they New Day were going on a losing streak. And on the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, they basically said to Big E, like as he had a broken neck, that their losing streak was all his fault and they're done with him and they're doing their own thing now. And so now they're basically like bad guys when they've been like predominantly like good guys for like not at the start they were bad guys. But yeah.
That's really sad.
How'd that make you feel if you broke your neck and then your friends said that their failures are all your fault?
I'd be pretty upset, and I'd also tell them that they're gaslighting me. Tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
um,
So yeah.
you go. What?
Oh, sorry. Go on. I wasn't really gonna say anything.
I was just gonna say this very random thing, but there's this dude I follow. I don't remember where he's from. I want to say Thailand. And he like runs. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's on Instagram and he like runs into duct tape and shit. But he ran into too many pieces of duct tape. It was like 1,000 pieces of duct tape between like two things, and he broke his neck. And he's just waiting
Does
to
his
heal up.
friends blame him?
Hmm?
Did his friends blame him for their failures?
No, no. But you said broken neck, and that's what it reminded me of.
Yes.
So do they wrestle together? Someone? Is it like two on
Yeah.
two? Okay.
This is what's called a tag team division. So they do have a
Tag
specific
team.
belts for the tag team division, which is 2-on-2,
Mm-hmm. Do they have 3 on 3?
which is like they do, but they don't have belts in this promotion, but they do have trios belts in AEW.
Okay.
But like they can do tag team matches. I think they've gone as like far as like 7v7 or like 10v10.
Well, I mean, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that sport in Kazakhstan where they do basketball in an octagon court?
What?
Yeah, it's a really fun time.
Have you played that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like half just like fighting and half basketball, and you just
Right.
fuck around and find out. But fitting that many people into that tight of a space in general just causes chaos already, and then you throw a ball in there, and it's great.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay, what's New Day saying? I can't hear them.
I could hear booze. Oh, now it's dark.
Oh yeah, that was commercial.
Oh, that's where they
It's
just had
commercial.
Power Slap.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Power Slap 12.
How much do you like Power Slap?
I love Power Slap. I know it's stupid, but I love it. Also, I'm pretty sure I've been there. Power Slap is just it's great. I think that it's like because it's like accessible to a person off the street, like it gives the opportunity for just like random citizens to become fighters in a respected to be sport. Not too
The
many
beat.
people are, yeah, like people are still on the cusp of liking Power Slap. I'm down with it. I'm just
There's
down
your
with
boy
it.
Dana White.
I know. There he is. He's going through some feelings after Ankalaev's win lately. he wasn't very
Yeah, they're
happy
doing a
about it.
boxing show in Saudi.
Yeah, they're doing a whole thing. He was talking about that in the post-fight interview.
Mm,
But they're still just like getting it prepared, like it's still in the works and stuff.
interesting.
Like they're still
Are you
trying
gonna
to.
be watching?
Yeah. Am I gonna be watching the
You are?
boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah, once it's up and ready, I think. I'll probably get more into it.
You know Freddie Roach?
Nope. Say more.
You know King Colin Walsh?
Well, he's on the screen.
Well, not like that.
I'm assuming he's gonna be punching people.
He's a boxer.
Yeah, that tracks.
What gave it away?
Is this the boxing thing?
Walsh.
Yeah, I
That's in
have
the
to
Fight
Google it.
Pass.
Oh, look at that cage. That looks like fun. I see what you're talking about. Are they
Well,
allowed
the
to just
cage
like
is
run
that.
away in the other matches though?
What do you mean run away?
Like they're allowed to like leave the
They
boxing,
can leave the ring.
leave the ring.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can leave the ring. Yeah.
interesting.
But if they leave, they have 10 seconds to come back into the ring, or they're called, it's what's called a count out loss.
Okay, interesting. Um, so tell me that story of CM Punk with his wife. I want to know more.
CM Punk. Oh, what? Where was I telling you about that?
That was just the only thing I saw. It was like the kiss, and that was it.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty confident that what you're telling me about is he like was AJ Lee, and that's his wife. She was also a wrestler once upon a time. She left in like about a year after CM Punk had quit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they've been together this whole time. I think they got together like 2013 ish,
Cute.
2012, 2013.
I want to see this man do the thing. He looks like fun.
Home of Femi.
Yeah.
He's what's in a promotion called NXT. So that's essentially what's the uh what's the word I'm looking for? The term I'm looking for. So like that's where they go to like hone their craft before they get to the main roster, and the main roster is Raw or SmackDown. So
Okay.
that's like the underneath like the training center.
Okay. Yeah. Like
Do you know Rey Mysterio?
no, literally none of them. I'm gonna
No,
say no to literally every single one that you
I
asked
was
me.
okay. I was surprised at that. I feel like, I mean, I guess you have to be a wrestling fan to know Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, no, I've never. I've literally. This is literally my first time watching this. That being said, though, I think I've said this before, but like UFC, like I only really started watching UFC like a year ago. I've just gotten
Right.
really into it. Um,
Right.
and now we're here. But like before that, I wasn't really much of a sports person. I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I only like just recently like had like more of an interest in the UFC myself.
Well, they've been doing
So,
such
but
a
like wrestling, I've liked since I was a kid.
yeah. I feel like wrestling's like really big, and I mean, I guess UFC too. Like they're both pretty big. It's just that I didn't really have a TV when I was like growing up and stuff, so I didn't
Right.
really
Right.
watch whatever was like on TV. Uh,
That's why you don't care about celebrities.
no, yeah, not even a little bit. I also just I never was like the type of person to um really watch celebrities. This is cool. Like even now I'm like I don't really care what celebrities are like eating for breakfast or what they're doing on like a daily basis if it's like really big
Right.
news, yeah, but
Okay. So this is what's called a tornado tag team match. So they're in a tornado, all competitors are in the ring at the same time.
mhm.
Whereas a tag team match, like only two competitors are in the ring, and to get to their partner, they have to tag them out. That's why it's called tag team. Like, and they'd be at like the corners, but now this is tornado tag, so now they're just like free to do whatever. It's like all four of them in the ring at the same time.
Okay, and how do you know when you win?
You have to go for a pin or submission. So a pin was when their shoulders are down, one, two, three, or they have them in like a submission hold and they tap out.
Okay,
And that's typically the format for every match.
yeah, okay,
So it's kind of like a mix of like amateur wrestling where you have to physically like pin them down, and
yeah.
like there's a bit of UFC in there where they could make them like tap out from a submission hold.
This is so silly. I love it.
Oh, that didn't sound like love.
I would love to see UFC fighters doing this. Like I would love to just
I would love a UFC tag team match.
like halfway
I,
through you just like escape the octagon ring, just like, well, actually I don't know if you saw it, but there was that one part before it was like I don't remember which UFC it was, when Sean and DDP, like Sean just fucking, they had a scuffle outside
mm,
of the ring, and it was
right.
great, but nothing like this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty commonplace. Like almost like not almost like most matches actually go outside the ring for at least a portion of time.
Mm-hmm. That's fun though.
But yeah, it's more creativity to like, do different things.
Yeah, very colorful too. I like that, all the sparkles. Oh, fun.
Yeah, I gravitate a lot towards wrestling because I'm a bit of a character myself, if that wasn't, obvious.
Yeehaw.
What do you think
um
of that, nerd?
It's cool. I mean, all the, so is it like choreographed? Like, do they know beforehand what they're doing, or do they just kind of come out?
It really depends on the wrestler. Some like to just choreograph the entire match.
Yeah,
Others, like once you like wrestle long enough and like hone your craft long enough, you can kind of just like feel what's coming, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like here, they're gonna go for like they're gonna tease a table spot, and they'll probably just like whisper something. Oh my goodness.
That was great. Um, yeah. What are they gonna do with that table?
They're gonna try to put the other one through it.
Uh, is the table gonna break?
Yes.
Okay. Very fun. Wow.
Yeah, and that's pretty normal for like a no DQ match. So this is what's no DQ, so they can kind of just do whatever they want, like hit them with whatever they want. Normally, if you put someone through a table, unless it's the announce table, they would get disqualified.
Unless it's what?
The announcer's table.
Oh, can't can't throw them at the judges.
Yeah, yeah, they get put through the announce table like pretty
Oh,
frequently.
they do. Okay, cool. Poor
Yeah.
announcers. Yeah, that's great.
Um, do you have anyone that do you have a team you're particularly rooting for?
I don't know. Is that the announcer's table? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's
But
that's a barricade, but the announcers say, yeah, yeah. I think
but
you're ahead of me actually.
do they get disqualified for that? Oh, just, yeah, just rip up their shit. That's fine.
Not in this match because there's no DQ. Actually, they could do that in any match, and the ref doesn't seem to care. I don't know
Change
why.
that to my
It's
car.
fine.
Is it real wires, or do you think the wires are just there for funsies?
No, those are actual like monitors.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Not gonna lie, kind of rooting for the dudes in the pants. They just look like fun. I like to root for the bad guys, anyways. It's a good time.
I'm glad you said that because I think they're so funny.
Yeah. That, I mean, like that's balance, man. That's crazy. At least they don't have to have as much CTE as like WWE or UFC fighters. There's no cauliflower ears
Uh,
involved. Oh, geez, never mind. Never mind. Just kidding.
there's a bit of CTE in wrestling. It's gotten a lot better,
Yeah, I watched
but
him get dropped on his head there.
yeah. Wait till I tell you the story about a certain wrestler who changed the game for CTE,
Oh
like
god.
just in general in all of sports.
Are
It's
there shoes after
they're
that?
wrestling boots.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
So they wear boots and kick pads.
Riha. Because of ouchie?
Well, they wear kick pads because when you smack them, like yeah, first off, it does make it like an easier like kick to take.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, for us, like for the sound, like if you kick someone with kick pads, it's gonna echo throughout the arena. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just gonna sound like it hurts rather than actually hurting.
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of what like the sweet spot you're looking for.
Hmm. It's definitely, yeah, like it's very, very colorful and very full of like activity.
Yeah,
I was about to ask you
I
whether
think.
you've seen one of these live, but I know that you went. What was it,
Yeah, I was at
WWE?
the Elimination Chamber. I got this shirt here, and it was way too much money.
Ayo. Aren't they
Um,
always?
God, man. I'm glad I went, but like, oh my God. But what was I gonna say? I feel like people get turned off from wrestling because they like just view it under the lens of people pretending to fight.
Yeah, I mean,
Whereas you kind of need to look at it like maybe similar to like anime, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
that's what actually that's what I was thinking. I was like, a lot of these people just remind me of anime and all that stuff. I think if you look at it as theater and as like a performance and look for the whatever message, it's good. I also think just like for America specifically, like seeing the fighting but it's not actually doing the same kind of damage as like, to the death fighting. You
See,
have that.
what's gonna happen here is a very big stunt.
Yeah, that looks, oh my god, Jesus, that looks still painful. I think it's nice to be able to like scream and yell and like cheer for something, right? And you don't necessarily
Yeah,
have to have the damage that you get from. That's crazy. Oh, I see, where he like lands on his shoulder or something, not his head.
yeah,
Cool. That's a lot of coordination.
yeah. It's a lot of athleticism. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, there goes the table. I like how gently it broke open.
Yeah, it's basically like sawdust.
Pre-sawed, yeah. Yeah,
But
crazy.
I don't know. I just think it looks cooler. That one was not well done. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I feel like he like broke it open after.
Okay, this is his finisher 619. Oh, he reversed. You know how tall Rey Mysterio is?
How tall?
He's like 5'3".
Oh wow.
He is like one of like the shortest wrestlers like ever.
Yeah.
And like he came in at a time where wrestling was like the land of the giants, and he broke open like a lot of doors for like much smaller wrestlers
Huh.
to like make a name for themselves. So he's like a legitimate trailblazer in terms of pro wrestling.
That's cool. Um yeah, cuz I guess you have to like have all the requirements that people have for like camera and whatever,
Yeah,
especially if you're going to be performing like full body on a stage and stuff like that. Who is this?
this I don't even remember his name if I'm being honest.
Just
Oof.
random people coming in?
Well, it's no DQ, so you're free to. This is free to happen in a no DQ match.
Oh, you can just come on in. There's like a video that I shared
Oh,
today.
I know exactly who this is. Well, never mind. Do
He
I?
does, but
Oh, I think this is Chad Gable.
go Chad. That's hilarious. I
Yeah, this
just
is Chad Gable.
they need to let this happen just one time in UFC. Like just one time. It's just battle royale. Like whoever wants to goes.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that'd be so fucking crazy. Um, but people would get hurt. People would get really
yeah,
hurt. Like yeah. But I'd pay to watch like Sean just appear and fuck shit up.
yeah. It's just in a luchador mask.
Yeah. Oh fuck, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, I really wonder like how much practice and all that stuff goes into it beforehand.
Honestly, if like you wrestle each other like long enough, some people can just like go out like and not even
Like improv.
like practice a thing.
Yeah.
Like they just call it in the ring.
No, that's cool.
Like I feel like there are like wrestlers who could call a match like this, like in the ring, like not plan a single thing. It's just like, okay, you go outside the ring, I'll do the dive, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's not always the good guys win.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
always good
cool.
guys.
Cool, cool, cool.
Why you were rooting for them? Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was. Well, because I was just like, hold on, is it like, because that makes it super predictable if it's like every single time the good guy wins, and then you're like, okay, well, then I know who's gonna,
Yeah.
I know how this is gonna go. That's cool.
Yeah, well, it's like storytelling. Like the bad guys have to win sometime. Like, where's the drama if like the good
Mm-hmm.
guy just wins the whole thing? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's cool. I like it. So do they clean up the announcers table, or like do they just keep it that way?
Sometimes they just keep it. Sometimes they leave it be.
The poor announcers.
Yeah. So Braun Breaker is like,
That was so silly.
what?
No dogs barking. They're gonna be me watching. Fuck. What does he say? They're gonna be watching me putting you down. Very. It's crazy because you have to also like get like your speaking prepared. Oh, yep. Tear your shirt off. What were you saying?
I feel like you'd like Braun Breaker a lot.
Which is this guy?
That's a guy. That's a bald guy.
Yeah, I probably would. He looks like fun.
He's
You know what? They should have freaking. I mean, I don't know how. Maybe. But they should have Tony Ferguson in here.
who?
He's in UFC. But he's like
Uh,
retired now.
no.
He's got
They've had US like Brock Lesnar's. Well, he starred in WWE. Well, he's in WWE
yeah.
first, I could say.
That's
Ronda
fair.
Rousey did WWE for a bit.
Hmm. Both of those people seem like they
Um,
would.
yeah. So this is what's the Judgment Day.
Hmm.
So remember that mass wrestler who just got pinned?
Hmm.
That the guy with the mustache and the long hair is his son.
Oh.
Yeah, so he turned into a bad guy by uh
Associating with
beating
the
the
wrong
crap out of his
character.
dad.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
terrible.
And Liv more he used to date like on camera Rhea Ripley, and then he dumped Rhea Ripley to go be with Liv Morgan. And then Rhea Ripley got kicked out of it's a whole like story with the Judgment Day. Like it's a lot to unpack. Because there were like other members in here before, and yeah.
They. I had a question. I don't remember what my question was. So is it like cliques or is it like fighters?
They're called factions in
Factions.
WWE, but
And
they do
how?
have not all of them have factions,
Mm-hmm.
but they do like have a lot of depth. Like there are wrestlers who are like implied to be like friends with other wrestlers, while not necessarily being like in a faction. They like do like flesh out the relationship dynamics of what goes on behind the scenes. It's not like real life, but they do have like in story like friendships and
Mm-hmm.
like rivals and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good example, the current WWE champion is Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
He is like on camera or like what's called kayfabe, and that's like within the world of pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It's called kayfabe. So in kayfabe, he is friends with like a Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, but he's not necessarily in their clique or their faction.
Oh my god, Macaulay Culkin looks so different now. He's
Yeah,
so old. It's so weird.
he's cleaned up his life. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, that's good.
He got like down bad for a bit, like when he became an adult and his like childhood fame wore off.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine having that much money, like from and
Yeah,
that much
exactly.
fame from like such a young age? Like it'll get weird for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Um, how
Oh,
many?
so
Mhm.
sorry, go on.
I was gonna say how many fighters approximately are like whatever is
In
the
WWE,
yeah.
I want to say like 70.
Okay. Cool.
70 is. So this is Cody Rhodes. He's like the number one, like he's like the face of the brand, like the face of the whole company.
Okay.
Like he is the go-to
Does
like
he even
top
rip his
tier
suit
fight
off?
the good fight, good guy, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
And John Cena is the guy that like he turned on to turn into a bad guy.
Right.
So the main event of this year's WrestleMania, and that's like WWE's like Super Bowl. It's called WrestleMania. The main event is
Mhm.
him versus John Cena. So at the show I was at, John Cena like turned heel, which means turned into a bad guy
Mhm.
by turning on him because they were like in kayfabe friends
Mhm.
and joined up with The Rock.
And The Rock's a bad guy.
Yeah, The Rock in this universe is portrayed as a bad guy.
Okay. That's so interesting because The Rock is such a dad. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't imagine thinking of him as a bad guy at all.
But he actually became a bad guy because of Cody. Because last year he won what's called the Royal Rumble to
Mhm.
go face, and the fans wanted to see him finish his story because that was his whole thing. He wanted to finish the story his dad had, which was win the WWE Championship. Fortunately, his dad never did it. He retired and he's like passed away now. And
Oh.
when he came back to WWE, he wanted to finish the story and like win the title his dad could never win. And fans also like wanted to see that. They wanted to see him like fulfill his like father's legacy. And The Rock
But
kind of
isn't this all
muscled.
pre-planned anyways? Like, do they pre-plan who wins?
Yes.
Okay. So they
It's
just
about suspension of disbelief. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
watching a movie and like you're not thinking like, oh well, it's just written that way.
No, but like you would think that they would.
What do you mean?
Like, do they do that where it's like if someone's retiring and they like give them like a win, or it's like doesn't matter?
No,
Like they
because
just do whatever.
Dusty Rhodes made his name outside of WWE,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
but he did get signed to WWE, but like Vince made him like wear like polka dots and like do like dancing and never like made him like a legitimate contender
Right. Okay. Yeah.
because Vince didn't like seeing people make their name elsewhere. He liked knowing that like he did it himself, if
Oh.
that makes sense. He was
Yeah.
just kind of like that type of way.
That's stupid. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So he came. This guy came back to get the title for his dad, or he did get it, right? That's like all
So
he's holding.
he left WWE in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get back to it after he talks. I think he's going to say some important stuff.
Okay.
Also, I'm pretty sure that black guy is real.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I
Yeah,
didn't look it up
at
though.
this show, Travis Scott smacked the hell out of him for real. And because Travis Scott isn't like a trained wrestler, like I think he just got too excited and legitimately whacked him.
And Travis Scott is in this now.
Travis Scott was in the ring when Cena was beating the crap out of Cody Rhodes.
Right.
You know who Travis Scott is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I didn't really know. I knew he was an artist, but I wasn't like super like familiar with him till like this
He's
whole thing.
not a wrestler, or he is. Is
No,
he a
he's
singer?
a
He's a singer, right?
yeah, he's a singer. Yeah,
Or whatever things comes out of his mouth for, and that's what he
yeah,
does for a living. Okay, cool,
yeah. He's an artist.
cool, cool,
Let's go with
cool.
that. But yeah, he was in the ring for whatever reason.
Okay, and he like accidentally. That's crazy. That's a pretty big.
Yeah, he got a little excited and like actually whacked him. Like you could see the footage. Like you can tell he's actually like whacked. Oh, it's
Yeah.
commercial. He's not even say anything. So Cody Rhodes left WWE in 2016
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't. He felt like he could provide more and like be a bigger star than WWE was letting him. Like WWE like made him play the character he didn't really want to do and felt like he couldn't like grow. And so he went out and made like a big name for himself, started like a helped start like a rival promotion, all this stuff, and then he came back 2022 to like what's called he wanted to finish the story and win the WWE championship. Like he had left, he made his name and he like proved his point and like WWE was like impressed that like he said, I don't like what you're doing with me. I'm better than this. Fuck you. And I'm gonna show you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So, and then like, he came back to breed a lot of um fans got behind him, all that jazz.
Hmm.
And The Rock came back around WrestleMania 40 and like tried to muscle himself into the main event to the point. And then Cody was so popular with the fans that the fans rejected The Rock and booed him to
Hmm.
side with Cody Rhodes because they wanted to see Cody Rhodes finish the story.
Oh, that's
And that's how
cute.
Rock became a bad guy. Yeah, it's honestly, it's like WrestleMania 40 is one of the best like storybook wrestling shows that's out there.
That's cute. It's cute. I like that. I like that like the crowd gets to have a sway on it.
Yeah, yeah, and like that's like fans like I think the fans legitimately changed how WrestleMania 40 was because they like that's like the best part about wrestling is that like that can happen. Like in UFC, like no matter how like cheered you are,
Yeah, no, nobody
like
gives a shit.
if you get your ass beat, like that's it. Like you know
Yep.
what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like it's real life, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I mean it's also like right. It also depends on where you're fighting, because it's like every country is gonna cheer for their own, like most of the time for their own fighter or whatever.
yeah,
So like the fight
yeah,
that they just had with like Ankalaev versus Pereira, like Pereira was definitely the favorite there because he's like the star of the show and like he was the face of the UFC. I mean, it probably still is for a little bit. Nobody wanted Ankalaev, but I'm like, if you were to have that same fight in Abu Dhabi, or if you were to have that same fight in like Mahachkala or whatever, not that you would do that. You'd have a completely different crowd cheering for a completely different person. So it's like
yeah,
that's a pretty bad black eye though. That looks raw.
yeah.
Title of the show.
I actually want to hear what he's gonna say. I'm gonna mute myself so I don't get no copyright stuff.
Yeah, Riha. Do 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 do. A cathedral of entertainment history. I like his neck tattoo. Is it of himself?
It's of his brand, The American Nightmare.
Yeah. nice that they get to have this like space to actually like send out a message, because even like post fight chats are like, or interviews are like 30 um like 3 minutes long each or something like that. There's a lot of people. I'm the captain now.
So he's referencing 17 because John Cena is currently a 16-time world champion,
Mm.
which is the highest amount of world titles anyone's ever won in
Mm-hmm.
terms of this. There's people who speculate Ric Flair actually has more, but in terms of the story, they're saying 16 is the most world championships anyone has ever won. And Cena essentially like sold his soul to become a 17-time world champion. And this is his retirement run. Like he is retiring at the end of this year, like in December.
Mm-hmm.
So I Cena hasn't come back really to say anything, but I'm certain the story's gonna go. He's like he needed to sell his soul to The Rock so he can break the record and retire as the greatest wrestler of all time.
Okay. Sold his soul. I wonder what that entails.
Well, I mean the whole started because The Rock asked Cody Rhodes to sell his soul. And Cody literally said, "Go fuck yourself," like to him.
You're allowed to swear in
And
this?
then they use it sparingly.
Okay.
Like for a moment like that, it was like it's just for the added wow factor,
Yeah.
but it doesn't happen all the time. Like they might say like ass or hell and stuff like that,
Ooh. Okay, cool.
but
Very
like you don't hear
colorful.
people
It's
getting like,
so colorful. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
UFC.
she's like the women's Intercontinental Champion. That's a belt they just debuted, I
Mm-hmm.
think back in December, I
Mm-hmm.
think, or January. Um, which is basically they have like a women's world title and
Mm-hmm.
an intercontinental title is the belt like behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's like the like prove yourself championship, like you know what I mean?
Okay.
Whereas like the world title is like top of the world, like you are the elite on your brand.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Because I think belts in UFC is just like every weight division
Yeah,
has their
it's a
belt,
weight
right?
class.
And then you just kind of
Yeah.
whomstever holds it. Um,
Well, yeah.
but they're all like international and whatever. Do they get split up by country too sometimes or something?
They had like an NXT UK division,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have that anymore.
Okay.
But they have another show. They have Raw and SmackDown, but they're both classified as like different brands, and they have their own like unique set of championships.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but like the women's tag title, like that's what the only like floating championship, like that gets defended on Raw and SmackDown
Mm-hmm.
because they only have one. Whereas like for the men, they have a Raw tag team championship and a SmackDown tag team championship.
Okay.
And like on Raw, they have a women's Intercontinental Championship and the women's World Heavyweight title, and then they have the men's Intercontinental title and the men's World Heavyweight title. And on SmackDown, they have the SmackDown tag belts, and they have the United States title, and then they have the WWE Championship. And for the women, they have well, there's only one women's tag belt, but they have the women's U.S. title and the women's WWE World title.
Okay.
So it's a lot of belts.
That's a lot of belts. Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of belts. But it's basically
Yeah,
every division or like every branch of whatever has its own belt, right?
yeah. They
Okay.
have each like division on each brand has a tag belt, and like an Approve Yourself championship and a world title.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it basically like copies that formula across the board. It's just yeah, the men and women don't typically there have been intergender matches, but typically they do not compete against each other.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I mean, I think that's it's a little bit more difficult to do that. I think
Yeah.
it's a little bit difficult.
Do you have any more questions?
Not currently.
Yeah.
Why?
You excited for the steel cage?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like your thoughts on everything.
No, this is cool. My biggest thought is that yeah, it's like really colorful. I think it's fun. I think that coming from like UFC for me, it's different because it's definitely like the appeal here definitely isn't the actual fighting, right? And stuff like that.
Right.
So like I'm really impressed with the choreography of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there
Um
things you don't like about it?
huh?
Are there things you do not like about it?
Um not necessarily, not yet. I haven't seen anything super.
I mean, you've only actually seen one match. I think that
Yeah.
gets kind of annoying. It's just like, can we like see some wrestling here, please?
Yeah, I guess there is a lot of like there's a lot of talking and there's a lot of like storyline, but if you're like it wouldn't make sense for it not to have that cuz obviously um you're here for that like theatrical piece of it because
Yeah.
otherwise they would just be like I cuz okay, so like you I'm just trying to think of how that would work. Like if it was just fighting the same way that you have in UFC or like in, you know, other sporting events. I haven't really done much. Like I've been mostly watching MMA leagues
Oh,
across
so
whatever. Mhm.
next Monday's at 3 p.m. Huh.
Oh boy.
Well,
Well,
it's in Belgium, so that's just when it's live. But I think it's gonna air again at 8,
that makes
which
sense.
it's the time I'm gonna watch. Like, so I'm gonna have to try to avoid spoilers. I'm sure you could easily avoid it because you're not like in all the like
Yeah, I have
chats I'm in and
no
all the
idea.
pages I'm in.
Not a single clue. Um we'll do 8 still though. That's the big one you wanted to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to see that.
Do 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 do.
So you know, you're gonna get some ladies in action, which I think will be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. No, that's really fun. I do like it. I like that you get to have all the theatrics and all the fun stuff and all the entertainment without the um
All the brain damage.
Yeah, just the brain damage. Well, it's like the brain damage and the body damage and the blah blah blah. And it's also just cuz it's like the build up, right? It's the training that goes
Yeah,
into, like, obviously these athletes also train, but it's different than having to do this like crazy long camp and blah blah blah
right.
blah blah. And especially like title holders uh have to be like constantly training, because if they get challenged they need to be ready to like actually defend, right? Not, again, not that these guys aren't, but if you have something that's more pre-planned, uh or
Yeah,
you
it's
know
easier to
ready,
work around it.
yeah, you don't have to worry about that as much. um so it still provides the entertainment. Or like, fucking Kamza, right, where he gets sick all the time, and so you'll have like
Yeah,
your champions, and then one of them just can't come because
yeah,
he fucking inhaled too much dust or some shit like that.
yeah. Also, the pros, if you want to call it a pro, there are more cases of like wrestlers who have wrestled like injured or wrestled like sick,
Yeah,
because like you can work around that a lot better.
yeah, right.
Because like you're not actually like with the intent to harm.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know if you saw Cody Rhodes, there's one match I should show you. Like he ripped his like pectoral muscle right open, and he wrestled like the whole match with like a giant like bruise. Like it's
That
massive.
sounds horrible.
Yeah, but like he like could do that match, and then he was out for 9 months after the fact. Then they only let him do it because they're like, well, you physically cannot injure it anymore. Yeah, so it's like
That's
you're
a bad
free to
reason to
like,
let someone do it.
well, because they're like they could just like they're like you could literally like hit this as much as you want. You cannot get any more like injured in this arm than you already are.
Yeah, that's rough.
And like he wanted to go through with it because like he's old fashioned. He's like, no, like they bought their tickets. A lot of people like paid their money to like see me wrestle. I'm going to do this match, and then I need to like do my thing.
But is this kind of wrestling different from like Greco? It's not the same as like Greco-Roman wrestling, right? Like, this is what's
No, Greco-Roman wrestling is like it's not like, well, first off, it's like actual, like real.
okay,
Like they're
like real,
actually like
yeah,
competing with each other.
right.
Yeah.
But they're both called wrestling.
It's because this is the reason like wrestling
Like,
is
the
what it
thing that
is. It is
you do is Greco-Roman wrestling, right? Like, you actually wrestle, or you do this. What's the
no, I
difference?
do this.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
did I did Greco-Roman in high school, and
Yeah.
like I've done like a few classes at Extreme Couture.
Okay.
But yeah, this is what I was
What you
doing.
want to do? Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool.
Yeah.
But like, I'm assuming that some of them must have some
There's
sort
a
of
lot.
fighting
Um,
backgrounds, right?
there's actually a lot of like them cross train because it's like if you have a character who's like or like a wrestling style that incorporates a lot of kicks, you should probably do some Muay Thai to like
Yeah.
know how to kick. And then once you know how to kick, it's easier to like fake a kick,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Pussy baby
Um,
face.
and then there's a lot of like people who weren't even like fans of wrestling. They were hired for that their athletic credentials.
Mm.
Like the wrestler who trained me was hired because of his like he was like a world champion judo
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and he was hired for that reason. And then there was Kurt Angle. I'm not you might know Kurt Angle.
No.
But he was an
No.
Olympic gold medalist in pro wrestling and he got hired for that reason. Like he was an actual like Olympic gold medalist in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The only like a lot of them like flop because a lot of them don't know how to transition well, if that makes sense.
Like, into this?
Because a lot of one of the main things with like transitioning into this, when you're in like any type of physical like combat sports,
Mm-hmm.
like a psychological thing is like you don't want to let the opponent know how hurt you are, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But like in this, it's theater. Like you want to
Yeah.
exaggerate how in pain you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like it's hard to like some people just can't make the transition. They're just locked in this like I can't let them know I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's just like I got hit in the back. Oh, I'm in pain.
You gotta become a little bit of a football player for a minute there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they say the best wrestlers are the people it's like it's when it's your own personality dialed up to 11.
Yeah,
You
right?
know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's those make the best wrestlers. Just like your personality on steroids.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah, it's fun. No, I like that. I've always been a fan of obviously like theater and all the other stuff. Um so it's really fun to combine it with combat. Um it feels naughty. It feels a little
Yeah.
taboo. This is like all the stuff that you would want to see in fighting that you're not allowed to have because it's against the rules.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's cool. I
I'm
enjoy watching
curious
the
to what your
outfits.
reactions are going to be for this for the cage match.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I think that because you said you already knew CM Punk. Oh, I can't wait till Seth Rollins comes out. I want to see your reaction to him.
I mean, not that I know much. It was just literally just that one. I don't know how he came up. This was
Seth
like
Rollins.
no CM Punk like a few months ago. I don't know how that ended up on my feed, but it did. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's like the only like WWE person that I follow on the internet. I might not.
Oh, he was in the UFC, CM Punk. That might be why.
Okay, that tracks. Hold on, let me Google that.
But like he was honestly historically like probably the worst um fighter of all time.
Ah, oh, he was. That's cute.
Yeah.
When?
I want to say 2015, 2016.
Oh, he just has one fight. Hold on.
Yeah, he got
Performance
clapped.
record total two. He got one loss by submission and one no contest. That's adorable. That's really cute. That's adorable. Yeah, UFC 203. We're gonna have to go watch that at some point.
Yeah, we should.
And then UFC 225.
But the sad thing is, like, even though he got like smacked in UFC, I still think he could beat up most pro wrestlers with like no MMA experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't have gone to UFC. Like, if he wanted to do MMA, that's fine. But like, he didn't have any like MMA background at all.
Yeah, you gotta.
Like, if he went to like Bellator, not, but like, not say Bellator sucks, but like, if he had like done like a lower league like thing, he might have been fine.
Yeah.
But he also joined way too late. Like, he started training at like 33, 34, and like, you just can't like get all this like MMA knowledge in such a short period of time.
No, you gotta train from such a young age.
Yeah,
And also
like,
there's like especially with UFC and especially if you're like at the very top of UFC, like the very top contenders. How I judge people by like who I think is gonna like win and like my picks and stuff is like who's here to like kill the person in the ring. Like not just like, oh, I'm
yeah,
gonna pretend to kill that person or I'm gonna get into that mentality, but like you have to be ready to decapitate them. Like you have to be pretending like you're in like a war, literally,
yeah,
right? And that's usually when you have like two really highly matched up fighters against each other. It's the one that can get into that mindset because it's like, and you see it kick in. I don't know, you'll see it in certain things. In certain matches, you'll see it kick in when they're like in a really tight spot, and you can see it in their like face that they all of a
right,
sudden go from like, oh okay, like I'm gonna tap out, and then the ones that like you can see them going like pretending like they're somewhere, and then they get this like second wind and whatever, and that's usually what
right,
like does it. So
right.
unless you're like ready for that mindset, which I feel like would be really hard to carry over from here.
Yeah.
It would be hard to do that because I feel like these guys, like, you know, they're having a good time, but like they know that they're not in any like immediate danger.
Yeah,
So
I
to be
feel you.
put into a ring with like a person that's trying to kill you, that would be jarring at the least, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
at the
then I also,
least.
but then like you said, like I don't think UFC fighters would do very well in this sport.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them don't have like big they
They
some of them
die.
do. They don't have the most grand of like personalities. They just look like I will kill you.
Yeah. I mean, some of those. Sean tries. Sean tries.
So some of them do have a personality. I can't say all. Like there are
Yeah.
like who's that guy that ate the pizza? He was so funny.
I would love to. The guy that what?
He like always ate pizza. That's all I
I'll have
remember
to
about him.
Google it. Yeah. I mean, they're doing stuff, especially like with the rise of social media. I think they have like a lot more freedom outside of the octagon to like do their stuff and develop their stories and personalities.
Yeah.
Um. So, but it would be cool to have like a fighter that does both. That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd
there's
consider
very
that.
few. Oh, I'm out of data.
Oh no,
Oh well.
you're not gonna disconnect.
No, I'm out of data on my other phone.
Oh, I see.
And I'm
She
not connected to
two phone solutions.
oh, dude, Pin Bailey. That's a big one.
Is she bleeding? No. Okay, that was cool.
And
She's
this
not
match
a
was all right.
that chick in the middle. She's not a belt holder. She's just holding the belt for the other dude, right?
No, her and her are the tag champs.
She's like a bunny.
Yeah,
She's cute though.
yeah. I have a little crush on her if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
she looks adorable.
Yeah, she looks like well, first off, her on-screen character is a home wrecker.
Okay, yeah. Well, that that tracks.
Yeah, you could see it in her eyes.
Yep. You were gonna say?
Oh, but like she's like she was in the elimination chamber. I think she's tough as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately tough.
Well, you have to be for as a human being for this. You have to be
Yeah, but like
just
she's
to
like
perform in front of
tough,
a shit ton of people too.
tough for this, if that makes sense.
Wait, what?
Like tough in like the confines of this, I still think she's
Oh,
tough.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, Chad Gable's back.
I was gonna say you kind of look like that guy.
There's a guy in the mask.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lying about it.
I like that he's got his knuckle all fucked up.
Yeah.
Definitely not me. Pan down to his shoes. I like her outfit too.
Yeah.
Very fun. Not just the titties, but like the rest of it. It's very nice. Covers her. I like the corset.
Hold up, I gotta find my password here.
Yay. I've seen you do this look.
What?
Nothing.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I feel like you're making fun of me.
No, it's a
Yeah.
compliment. Oh, he looks like oh, from the boys. The dude. What's his name?
The boy's the dude.
The dude from the boys.
The the boys from the dude.
Cast. Homelander.
Oh,
Yeah.
who's Cena?
No, the guy, the American dude, the Nightmare of what? What was he? American Nightmare?
Oh,
Is that
Cody
what he's
Rhodes.
called? Yeah. She's cute. I think all the ladies are cute. That's where I'm at with this one.
What is? I guess I'm not following a new Twitch stream anymore, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Promised.
Yeah, I have it up.
I'll be back. I'm just gonna get a glass of water.
Yeah. Wait,
Like maybe 10 minutes.
I might put on the BRB scene for now because I want to eat this mango. So we'll take a little break. That's a
Yeah,
sneaky mango.
yeah. I had a sneaky Krispy Kreme.
Oh, Krispy Kreme. I haven't had a Krispy Kreme in ages now. Oh shit! It's been
So,
like in 2 hours now. Holy crap!
I think we're about to head to the main event.
Yeah, that was went by fast.
Well, that's tonight, so I guess.
um,
Um,
No, I don't remember.
Unbelievable.
I was gonna say, does CM Punk have a Pepsi tattoo on his shoulder?
Yes.
Okay. Is there more to that? Why?
It's because he likes Pepsi.
Very, very good explanation.
That's literally it.
There's a lot of people.
I do believe they get like Netflix, like stars to like show up.
Netflix what?
I think they like try to get like Netflix like actors who star on Netflix shows to like show up to this just for like the
Yeah.
promotion of it all. For this
Yeah,
on Netflix, right?
that's true. No, it's nice that they're doing it with Netflix. It would be awesome to have UFC on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah. Well, they probably want their own, like, because it's their pay per view and their, like, stuff and their blah blah blah. Like, then it just goes directly all to them
Right.
instead of, like, just part of a Netflix subscription. But it's just
Yeah.
really annoying because then you have to have several subscriptions.
Oh, it's Io Sky. So she won that belt last week from Rhea Ripley on Raw.
Cute.
Yeah.
I like her.
What about her?
I don't know. She just looks adorable.
Yeah.
She looks sweet.
Do you think she looks like low key dangerous?
They all look low key dangerous. But yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I definitely wouldn't want to like piss her off. But honestly, I feel like she would. That's because she's a woman. I was gonna be like, I feel like she would poison me rather than anything. You know, it's like I'm not so much afraid of her or smother me with a pillow. You know.
Yeah, yeah. She's like super athletic.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely does remind me of anime.
Are you a big anime person?
Yeah. Well, I used to. I think it was like Bleach. Ugh, like season 3. Did you watch Bleach when you were younger?
I think I saw the first season.
Fuck man. Okay, so like season 3, it took them like 6 episodes to like walk 5 steps and then I'm pretty sure they had like a fight over over the period of like 3 episodes, and after that I was like I can't watch anime anymore because this is
Yeah,
too
it's too
far.
long.
Like you gotta just like yes, fighting, but can we like shorten it like a tiny bit, please?
Yeah.
Um yeah. So I haven't watched it for a while, but I really liked Fruits Basket and I really liked um Vampire Knight and Fruits Basket were like my two big animes. They're not like action animes, they're more drama, but I used to live for those two.
Right. Right.
Made me who I am today.
Yeah.
Nice. Adorbs.
You have a new favorite?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'd love to see her do her thing. Oh, what's Elimination Chamber? How does that work?
Uh, so Elimination Chamber, essentially it's like a giant like steel cage, and then there's four pods uh at each corner of the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the four pods contains a wrestler, and the match starts out with two wrestlers in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this giant like contraption. It's like steel all across, like you can't escape. And then every like 2 or 3 minutes, a new wrestler leaves their pod and enters the ring. And essentially, you want to eliminate all five other competitors in the match
Mm-hmm.
to win.
Okay.
So like you do have an advantage by being the last person to come out of the pod because you would be the most fresh, but that doesn't like guarantee you're gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could like all five could like just be waiting for you and gang up on you.
Okay. Interesting.
But it's like steel, like people like jump off the pods. They'll climb like the steel structure and jump off that. They'll like slam people on like the steel like grating.
Mm. That sounds like fun. Sounds like fun to
Yeah,
watch.
that's a fun one.
Yeah. They're both adorable. She looks like a princess.
Which one?
The one in the blue suit.
Yeah, so she actually uses her hair in matches. Like she'll whip people with
Oh
it.
shit. That's cool. I like that.
But she's also like going through something.
Oh.
Like she was in like a trio with Jade Cargill and Naomi, but Jade Cargill was found like beaten up in a parking lot, like in like September or October or November,
Oh wow.
in the fall, sometime in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And she thought Liv had done it, Liv and Raquel, the two tag champions from before.
Like actually beaten up.
But well, it wasn't like in storyline.
Oh, okay, okay. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Because there's a difference, right? Where like,
yeah.
okay,
Here's Rhea. I can see you liking her.
yeah. I don't know. I think I used to be down with the like gothy blah 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 vibe girls,
Yeah,
but
it's just we're over it now.
yeah, I think I've shifted now. Um, they're cool, but I think I'd rather one of the other two, to be honest. I don't think I'm as like aggressively scrappy anymore.
Just you just like seeing other people do it.
No, just a little bit more. I like the more like controlled aggression fighters, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah, she just like doesn't care. She'll just fight anyone.
yeah,
I
and
could
those
see how
things
that
can
would get
get you
annoying.
too many places. I like that she has to take out her piercings though. That's cute.
What is she even saying? I can't hear my TV.
I don't know. I'm listening, but it's a little quiet. They're having issues. She said you're just trying to blame me in something. They're all fighting over each other. I don't quite know why.
So basically, the last match, well, Rhea was the former champion. I see why she's mad because like they're beefing with each other, and she's like, "Excuse me, I'm the champion. Like I should be the threat."
Ah,
You
cute.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a triple threat.
As in, they're all just gonna fight each other.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have those. They have triple threats, fatal four ways, like five-man challenge, six-pack challenge.
Many of these sound like porn names. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, triple threat. Yeah, yeah,
Triple threat. They're having a
yeah.
tag team.
So this is what we got to see. This should be good because this is the first time Cena's will have shown up since he
He looks
became a bad
old,
guy.
man.
He's like he's close to 50.
Oh shit! Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Ooh, this should be fun.
See, like, this sounds like a really fun place for, like, retired UFC fighters to go. I mean, maybe they might have feelings about that, and they might be sad about it, but, like, if you want to continue staying in shape and, like, doing stuff, it's a good idea. Especially, like, it would be really cool if you could, like, fake the more difficult things, right?
There's a few like Shayna Baszler. She did MMA and like did pro wrestling.
Mm. I'm trying to think of what would be cool to see. Um, yeah, well, maybe not. I don't know.
As long as they can like hone the personality side of them, it should be fine. I think
Is
it's gonna be
his
next.
chest just gelled in?
Well, they do. So a lot of wrestlers do use oil.
Ah, one sec, I gotta go deal with dog real quick.
Oh, yeah, it's the cage match now.
But the dog's gonna be like barking in the background the entire time. If not, I have to go
Yeah,
put a collar on him. Or actually, I'll leave you up.
no problem. Oh, the cage is dropping. You're missing out. Well, or at least we can see it.
It's very, very dramatic. So sparkly. See,
Yeah,
what's stopping UFC fighters from coming out of these sparkly ass jackets? Nothing. Do it.
yeah. Imagine getting beaten up by a guy who dressed like this.
Right?
Like, isn't that like the best like thing to do?
That's so funny. So who's this dude that they all keep talking to?
This is he's a celebrity.
Oh, okay.
I know his face. I don't know his name. I'm so bad with celebrities. I live under a rock. I know.
You were picking on me about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad. See, when I was a kid, like YouTubers were celebrities to me.
Yeah, I mean, I followed. I mean, for all of us, right? Because YouTube had just like started when we were
Yeah.
younger.
Like if I had met Angry Video Game Nerd as a kid, that would mean a lot more to me than like Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I mean, I knew some of them. Okay, but like then it's not that hard to escape the cage if you could just climb it like that.
Well, you have another guy like dragging you
Yeah, I
down.
guess it's it's harder to. Yeah, okay, that tracks. I could see now the difference between the ropes um and the cage. That makes sense. But then if they climb out of it and then the other guy follows, can they fight outside of it?
Well,
Or is it
once
done?
2 feet hit the floor, then you win. They can still fight if they're like pissed, but the other guys won the match.
Once uh wait, hold
Once
on.
both your feet hit the floor,
Okay. Then the other person wins or you win?
you win.
You want to get out of the cage.
You either win by pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought that it's like that you like forfeit if you like escape the cage, but okay, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I guess that makes. I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you escape the cage, you would win.
Okay. How interesting.
Yeah, I know it seems like why would you run away? But
Yeah.
it's you gotta look at it like you knocked them out so bad that you were able to just get out of the cage and they couldn't do anything.
Interesting. Okay. Very different. I would also just love to see a crossover between the two.
Yeah, and I know there have been like MMA events that have a pro wrestling match. I know there's been my friend, he trains at like a boxing gym,
Mhm.
like or like an MMA gym,
Mhm.
and they had a boxing show, and in the middle there was a pro wrestling match just to like switch it up. But it's like more like Japanese pro wrestling, and Japanese pro wrestling is like very MMA infused. I think you would actually like it a lot because like it's you kind of know it's not real, but like they hit each other so hard that you're like, that one was. I think that one was real.
Mhm. Interesting. Yeah, we should definitely watch one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of like you probably gravitate a lot towards the Japanese style of pro wrestling.
Hmm. His jacket is so puffy.
Yeah. Would you wear that? I see you
Yeah,
wearing that.
100%.
The whole
Absolutely.
thing, pants and all.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not the pants. Maybe in a separate outfit. I just don't think I don't think it's, I think it's quite flashy just on its own, but I'd wear the coat to like a UFC event. You know. I feel like I already have a crush on him. I don't know what it is. It's just really
Who's Seth?
problematic. I know it's bad. It's weird.
I think. I mean, this is the only other person you knew, so you're rooting for Seth over CM Punk.
No, clearly not.
Why not?
I clearly have a crush on CM Punk. Like I don't know what
Oh,
it is.
sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Seth.
No.
What, you like CM Punk?
I guess so.
Why?
I don't
What
know.
do you mean you guess so?
It's that video and how surprised he was at that. I mean, I don't know if that was like real or not, but he just I don't know. He looked like such a vulnerable man, and it was just really cute. And I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
adorable. And then he also has the word punk in his name. Probably that's probably what it is. Well,
you
that, but
like
he also just he looks like the like early 2000s, bad boy
okay. Okay.
situation,
I
and
like CM
that's
Punk. He's like I don't know. He bounces between being my favorite and like second favorite.
mhm.
It's always like between him and Cody Rhodes. And
Okay.
it kind of fluctuates. I guess maybe it even depends on like the mood I'm in.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I like CM Punk because like to me he's like just the realest person in the room. That's what I like about him.
Mm.
Like he's not trying to like portray an image.
Just
He
immediately.
doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care if you don't like him. He's doing things because he wants to do it, and that's the end of it.
Mhm.
And that's what
Does
I
he have
like
the
about him.
X's on his hands?
It's because he's straight edge.
Okay, I assumed
So
so. Which
like
is
he
like
doesn't
if
do drugs
yeah.
or alcohol or any, and the X's are symbolized like say like underagers go to
Yeah.
like a concert,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put
yeah.
X's on the hands to don't serve me, and that's what it
Yeah,
symbolizes.
I remember. That's what I assumed it was, but I thought I'd just check with
Yeah,
that. But
but
yeah,
yeah, his big thing was like that he's straight edge.
cool. That's cool though. That's a good like advertising for the kids.
Yeah.
Live that healthy lifestyle and you can do this too.
Well, that's actually a big reason why I feel like he got his big push in the start
Oh, wow, so you're
because
just tearing each other's clothes off. That's fun.
yeah.
I do wish he had a little bit more pants on, not gonna lie, but
You don't like the
look at those
tights?
man ass cheeks. Yeah, there's just something about dad ass that like is not.
Ain't it? You wish he was a bit more thick
Um,
or a little less?
no, just a little bit of pants would have been nice.
Yeah.
Shorts maybe.
Or maybe
Maybe
just
just
like
a
a
little
little
less
longer.
tight. I'm sure when he was like a little younger.
Yeah. But that's just like that's a part of wrestling you just kinda like you don't even think about after a while.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, cuz you're yeah, that's true. They wear all those wrestling outfits.
Yeah, yeah.
There's this like
Those wrestling.
wrestling outfit that Sean trains in and I fucking every time I'm like, "All right."
Was it the singlet?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
You don't like the singlet?
It's symbolic, I guess.
You just like the shorts.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the shorts. It's fun because like
I'll
all
be
the
honest.
Dagestani fighters will always come out in like shorts. Like they're not like tight. They're always like looser shorts. No matter which because there's different shorts that you have, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
and they always have the more like the less fitted ones. I think they're nice. But I also think that it just depends on the fighter. Like some fighters pull them off well and then other fighters like that looks painful, dude.
Yeah.
Faux show. They're both cool.
You like them both?
Yeah, I like both of them.
It's just like him for his outfits and him for his fucking I don't know.
That early 2000s bad boy. It's just,
Oh yeah.
he should be part of a boy band. It's a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think
Oh,
that
he's
just
already hurting.
ever goes away. That was cool. But the other one I like is hair. Very fun hair. That looks really painful. I would cry.
Yeah, there's only so much you can fake with that.
Is he bleeding? It looks like he's bleeding.
Yeah, in the mouth.
Poor man. Do they bleed in this?
Sometimes they obviously do like accidentally get cut open. Um, when they're actually like bleeding like profusely,
Mm-hmm.
they do what's called blading. So you'll either take like Tylenol or Advil, or you'll drink like vodka to like thin your blood out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And because you're like drenched in sweat, and they'll take like an actual like razor blade, like a genuine razor blade, and they'll cut above their eyebrow,
Okay.
like because there's like an artery there, but it's like a safe one, and then you'll bleed out. And like because you took like the blood thinner and there's so much sweat, you just look like you're like drenched in blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but they obviously take care of them.
Yeah, some people like fuck it up. Like and they like you can see like old wrestlers they have like these giant like blades all over their head.
Mm.
But if you do it like properly, it'll be fine.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
if you basically just want like the sweat on your face and the blood thinner
Okay.
just to like get that visual of like holy crap.
Yeah, but they are allowed to like allowed to bleed in this.
They stopped for a good while
Okay.
when they went like PG,
Right.
so you weren't even allowed to blade anymore.
Mhm.
But like obviously like sometimes like accidents happen like they got like elbowed by accident or what have you and they just
Mhm.
or they bit their lip.
Right. Okay.
But for a while they didn't even allow blood.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cuz UFC like you're obviously allowed to bleed, but there's like a finite amount of bleeding that you're allowed to have if it's like
Yeah.
actually um getting
Yeah, 'cause they don't want people dying.
Yeah, like if it's a threat to whatever, then they'll stop the fight.
Yeah,
I'm assuming there's like a medical professional on site for this situation.
yeah. Yeah, they usually they've like stapled people's heads like outside the ring mid match.
Stapled people's heads? Like
Like in
shut.
case they get like cut open, like
Okay.
they'll staple it shut.
Okay.
Like if they still need to like perform, you know what I mean?
Jesus, that's rough.
Like there was a ladder match in 2015. It was WrestleMania 31. He got power bombed through the ladder, and his head got cut open because of the way he fell. And the doctor just stapled his head shut because he thought he was going to go back and wrestle more. And like that was the time they didn't want the blood, so they just had to staple it shut really quick.
And did they? Like, did he go back
Yeah,
in?
no, he didn't actually have to go back in,
Okay.
but like the doctor thought he did, so he stapled it shut just to stop the bleeding. But like he actually legitimately like cut like his head open. It wasn't like terrible, but it was like a big gash.
Hmm. Ouch.
Enough that like if he had started wrestling and like they left it be, like you would noticeably notice that he was bleeding.
Ouch. Are they allowed to tap out? I know they don't.
Yeah, they have submissions.
Okay.
It's not super common. Like unless a wrestler has like a submission finishing move, you're not really just gonna see it all the time.
Wait, but can't the other dude just escape right now?
He's mocking him.
Okay. But can't, like, if he were to just go through that door right now, he would win?
If if he was to walk out and like touch the ground, he'd win. But like Punk would obviously like just chase after him and like stop him.
Hmm. It's like
But like
intense.
their feud is like they like genuinely like hate each other. So they don't even want to escape. They just want to keep fighting each other and like beat each other up.
Yeah. Very fun. Yeah, man, you gotta do so much working out probably to, like, lift people like that, just in general.
Yeah, and you gotta mix with cardio too.
Adorable. I love it.
What the GTS?
Either. It looks like fun. It's definitely like soccer, just mixed together with fighting.
Soccer.
Football, well, whatever, whatever you want to call it.
Why
Yeah,
is football?
you know how they get like really dramatic with well, but I meant soccer, obviously. I would have said American football if I meant football. Um,
Oh, I
you
know
know
what you
how they
mean.
get really like dramatic with their injuries and stuff like that. This is
Yeah.
what that reminds me of. Oh my god, he hit me. Wild. It's the oh, that was cool. This reminds me that I need to get more tattoos on the back of my back. You know, you start getting tattoos
Wait, what?
on my back. I gotta get tattoos on my back because most of your tattoos, like, you start getting tattoos and most of them are just like on your front because you don't think about your back as much.
Yeah.
I was like, gotta get some back tattoos.
What do you think? He just has like a blank canvas?
Well, he doesn't have many tattoos on the back of his back. I don't think. Oh no, I have one. I have like the B on my elbow. I got
Yeah, I don't
that
have any
yesterday
tattoos.
too. Me, no guns, not a single gun. Urgh.
Yeah.
Reha. Oh, that looks like it hurt though. job.
Yeah.
Hmm. You could definitely break a rib like that, I think.
Yeah.
Like for showsies.
I know how to land like that, but I've also like known like people who've like got legit injured from that move.
Yeah, so but like how do you land like that? Because you have to I'm assuming you have to aim to not actually like land on the person as well too. And also keep
So
yourself safe.
you're basically they're following, say like you have it like this,
Mhm.
they're like falling, like their body should be right in between. And he also like lands on his leg first just to like balance the fall. And they're also like stiff as a board. Like they're like flexing really tight. You know what I mean?
Which one? The person falling
The
or the
person
person?
on the ground
Okay.
is like, see how he's like prepared for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can like, you know, take some of the weight rather than be just like starfish.
Right. Yeah, I saw that with like the women when they were fighting and then they were taking the like kicks or the punches or whatever.
Yeah, because you want to flex your chest as much as possible so that they hit the chest. Because I could like hit your chest all day, and
Mhm.
like you won't get like if I like did like a club like that.
This is so wild. Yeah, that's cool though. It's cool because there's like so many different things that you have to prepare for, right? Like it's the arts and the acting and stuff, but then it's also like
Yeah,
the keeping yourself safe and then it's keeping the other person safe and yada
yeah.
yada. Like that's a lot.
Basically, what you're
They
trying to
should
do,
have
you're trying
poles
to
there. Pole dance.
yeah instead of changed.
Should have women pole dancing on the poles while this is going on. That would be fun.
I guarantee you, there's probably wrestling shows like that.
We gotta find one.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I keep spilling tea all over myself. I don't understand where it's leaking from.
did you see that?
Yes.
You think you could take a bump like that?
No. Like not even a little bit. Jesus.
Would you even get in an octagon? An octagon?
Huh.
Would you get in an octagon?
Um, if I was like a trained fighter,
Mm,
absolutely yes. Would I get in an octagon right now? No. I would die. I would die so fast. Unless it was like against another person that
also sucked.
yeah, like also
Why not
didn't know
play
what
the
they
stuff?
were and also was potentially out of my weight category. If
Yeah,
they were smaller than me. I'm kidding. Um but no, like and also just like the past year or so that I have been training, like the amount of injuries that you get just from accidents, like sheer accidents that you don't expect, that's where I've gotten
mm,
most hurt. Um
okay.
so and I feel like when you're fighting, it's like a bunch of accidents combined. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, no, I would do it. If I was prepared, I would do it for sure. It's like a lot of fun. Or maybe I think I would get into an octagon with like head protection. That's the only thing I really care about.
yeah, that's fair.
Although I say that until I broke my fucking foot. And like I broke my foot because I'm an idiot, not because of
Oof.
fighting. Yeah, it's because I was stupid and kicked the bag with
Yeah.
my foot.
Well, didn't you do that recently?
Over the summer, yeah. But and then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
basically just like pretended that it didn't happen. And it's fine now. It's healed, but like yeah, no, it was not a good idea. Um and then I also cracked a rib a little bit just like a little bit. It just like just a little
Oh,
bit.
just a little bit,
Just a
just
little bit.
cracked a
I
little
think
bit.
I don't know because I didn't ever go to the hospital for any of it, but I think that it's like the cartilagey part of my rib detached from the bone part of my rib, and that was because I was like like I was underneath a like a very large opponent child that because like our gym has like everybody like teenagers and adults and stuff, and like the adult males will because you usually fight with men
Oh,
will not hurt
sorry.
you.
Oh, he's doing Cena's move.
Re.
This is the SCF. This is how Cena beats CM Punk in the Elimination Chamber. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go on.
No, that's all good. So would he like tap out right now, or like what's happening?
Yeah, if Punk taps out or passes out, then Seth would win.
Okay. Um. Anyways, but the kids don't really like they don't really know how to go easy sometimes.
Mm,
So they'll put like their entire body weight on you, or like they'll which you're supposed
yeah.
to, but like whatever, or they'll do something that they'll fuck up a little bit. Anyways, I was doing that, and then he just had his whole weight on me, and we weren't like doing anything crazy. Like that's the thing is that like I've gotten hurt in spaces where like or like one time I was just like I'd come back into the gym and I was really excited. I was literally standing on my knees, and I was like
Mm,
moving around and stuff, and then I gave myself a bruise on my knee because like my patella like did some weird shit, and I was like that's fucking ridiculous. Like I was just like doing the struggle snuggle and it was fine, but all of a sudden, um, so yeah, and anyway, so I was just underneath him because I was trying to get out, and I could feel like a little pop.
right.
And I
Oof.
was there, and I was like, that's
What
not
do you think of
normal.
that move there, by the way? The stomp?
Are they doing a replay of it? No.
Oh, it just missed it. That's his finishing move, the stomp. So it's like he stomps your head into the ground.
Oh, that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about head stomps. They stress me out. I don't think I'm very happy about the direction this fight is going.
What, you don't want Seth to win?
No.
Oh, I thought you liked Seth. Or you
No.
just like
I mean,
Punk
I
more?
do, but yeah. I've got a soft spot. This is my first time watching this. Of course, I want Punk to win. Um,
I think that's it. Oh, he kicked out.
re. They're so expressive.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he just try to escape?
I
They
think
do
he's just
go.
like,
They do kind of go back and forth though,
what do you mean?
which I guess makes sense. Like it's like one of them's winning and then the other one's winning and then one of them's winning and then the other one's winning. He's got great hair for his age too.
Yeah, he's like 36.
Yeah, he's not balding at all.
Yeah, fuck, I wish I could say that.
Rehall for him. No, it's okay.
Right as you say, very hot for him. It's just like, oh, there.
What?
You were ugly beforehand too, so it's fine.
What?
No, I'm playing.
Um, but it's cool that he's so fluffy.
No, I'm playing. Yeah, fuck. Must be nice. Oh,
What else? I feel like I had another injury. Oh, yeah, I also slammed my head against the ground several times. It was fine. Just give yourself a
ow.
concussion. It was my fault. You have to fall properly.
Yeah, well, I'll teach you this in wrestling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they actually do.
I feel like this is a really good sport, yeah, to do stuff without getting hurt.
It's actually a good transition into stunt
Mhm.
stunt work.
Mhm. I bet. I like it. I feel like this is a really good way to like get your feelings out or get your grudges out. Like it would be nice to just do
Yeah,
this with a friend.
age match.
Yeah, you have a disagreement.
Oh, that's got to be it.
Oh, yikes.
That's it. That's got to be it. Oh, he's gonna.
Re. Very back and forth.
Still want Punk to win?
Yeah, probably. To the death.
I'm pretty sure Seth is gonna win, but I could be wrong.
Whatever. That's fine. I don't care.
Do you have another one you liked, or I feel like you still need to see a bit more because I feel like they only showed like little teases of people. Oh yeah, you liked Bianca and Io Sky.
Yeah. No, I'd like to see them fight.
Yeah, that's supposed to be at Mania. I think this is it.
Jeez.
This is it.
That looks so painful. Look at that beard.
Someone's here.
Huh?
Someone's here.
Oh.
Oh, it's Roman Reigns.
Wait, does that make him win though?
Yeah,
Like if you get dragged out of the
yeah.
cage? That's so weird. I'm just thinking of like, what if, like, could you imagine if this was happening in the UFC? Like, I would love
Yeah.
to see that. Could you imagine you're like fighting someone and then all of a sudden another fucking fighter just comes in
Yeah.
and like pulls you out and starts beating the shit out of you like on the octagon side? Like, it would be chaos. It would be,
Yeah.
it would be fun.
So Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins actually have like a long like history.
Mm.
So they started together. They were in a faction called the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
They were with another guy, Dean Ambrose, but he's not in the company anymore. But
I like his hair too.
um, they were a trio, and they like ran roughshod over the WWE. Like they beat up like pretty much fucking everyone. And then Seth Rollins like turned his back on the Shield, and he joined what was called the Authority. With the promise of like you'll become world champion, and you're gonna fucking be the man, all that stuff. So he turned his back on them, and the story is that because Seth did that in the first place, he basically planted the seed for what created the monster that Roman Reigns became, or like he called himself the tribal chief, and he was this like basically a fucking tyrant where he'd run roughshod over the WWE. He held like the longest WWE title reign in like fucking 40 years. Um,
Who are all these people?
these are all like agents, like basically saying, "Hey, you're gonna kill him. Get away."
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't like Punk either.
Yeah, I like the
Oh, Paul Heyman's in the ring talking to Punk.
who's that?
So that's Roman Reigns' manager, but he's also really close with Punk. And like Roman Reigns, because of Seth Rollins, he doesn't trust anyone. So when he sees shit like this sets him off. He's like, "Why are you talking to that guy? You're my wise man. You're not supposed to talk to anyone else."
You're my boyfriend.
Yeah, basically. Like, also he's related to The Rock,
Oh,
like real life related to The Rock.
cool. The Rock, he like made his whole like his like he got famous from this, right?
Yeah, yeah, because he was a second generation star.
Oh,
Like, his dad was a wrestler too, The Rock's dad.
interesting.
Yeah.
Does The
So
Rock
like
have a
their
dad that's
family is
also
like
in this?
all over the place. Like their family is like ingrained in this.
Sweet.
So how was your viewing of Monday Night Raw?
Was that
And
it?
obviously there's a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. So
Okay, cool. Sweet. That was cool. I enjoyed it. It was definitely entertaining. That was
yeah,
fun.
it's
Definitely
a lot
different
to
from what I'm used to, but it's nice to watch that because I feel like it's a lot more entertainment rather than like sheer stress
yeah, yeah.
for several hours. Um, yeah.
Are there any is there anything like different than you were expecting? Is there anything like that's kind of like feels about the same?
Um, I was gonna say I'm like it's definitely very American. Which is I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. Anything that's different than what I expected. I don't think I came in here with like too many expectations. Like what I've heard from WrestleMania is about this that there's like a lot of jumping off cages and
Yeah,
slamming yourself into the ground.
right.
Um mm, I think yeah, I don't think it's as like predictable as I thought it would be. So that's really cool.
You thought you would always be able to like predict the winner and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But so it's nice
Right.
to hear that it's not just like just the good guys that win or this or that or whatever.
Right.
I think it would have been cool if there was post fight like interview type things. I guess they do that before the fight where like they have a whole spiel before the fight.
They
Um
don't do that on Raw. When they have a big event, they do have a post-show exit
mhm.
scrum.
Okay.
So like at the Elimination Chamber, they'll like The Rock goes out and he talks to the press.
Mm.
And John Cena came out and he talked to the press. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like those are kind of fun because they kind of blur the lines between what's called kayfabe and reality.
Mhm.
Like, because they like speak in like part like this is a fake show, but then they're also part like in character. So like you're like, what are you saying?
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's like a really big piece of like UFC, right? Where you have like the pre-fight press stuff, the post-fight, and there's like all this like build up and stuff to it. So I think that that would be cool to see. Do they do that with like before that like, you know, if they know who's facing off against who?
If, for like big shows for like WrestleMania, they'll have like basically it'd be like similar to like a UFC card. They'll have like three like people on the table, like professionals, like talking about the fights and like why they'll do it in kayfabe and like be like why this person's like gonna win and why this person needs to be taken seriously and why this person's a dark horse in this contest and yeah, type
Yeah.
of stuff.
No, that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's there's a lot to, and then there's also like there's the Mexican style of wrestling, and then there's the Japanese style, and even the Canadian style of wrestling.
Cool. Yeah, we should definitely watch one of those at some point and just
Yeah,
go through some of them and just see what happens.
I think you'd probably be a lot more enamored with like the Japanese style because you're obviously like the MMA, like you're obviously more in the UFC, and like the Japanese style does incorporate a lot of MMA
M&Ms.
into it. They actually, um, motherfuckers. Like they're like pretty much encouraged like to cross train, like do like MMA and like do amateur wrestling and do Muay Thai and do submission wrestling. They're like pretty much like drilled into them
Yeah.
to train in that regard.
No, that's cool. I would like to see that too. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool crossover. It's a cool like other side of like fighting and stuff like that. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'm down.
So do you have a UFC match you have out for me or are you still thinking?
What do we have next? Where's my list? What is it today? Today's the 10th. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday we have Kevin Holland fighting on one of the fight nights. That would be interesting.
Okay, let's do that.
Potentially. Not next, yeah, next Saturday. But fight night is every, so I have like next Saturday and then the Saturday after. Oh, the Saturday after that is actually Costa. Oh my god, and
Okay.
I'm trying to read my own handwriting. Why don't I just look at the freaking the sheet? Where's the sheet? Um, show me, please. I'm watching Costa and I'm watching Urkeg. I think that's what's written down for me. Yeah, like the headliner for it is Rosa Jr. I think is also the other one I'm watching for that week. So that one would be cool. If we get like the fight pass and everything, would be sweet. But we could always do the reruns of UFC. I'm doing a few of those. I think I'm on like I did a few for Twitch. And I think I'm gonna just continue onwards with that, so we can watch like UFC 5 or whatever,
Oh,
and build up
was
from
that
that.
one like barbaric as hell?
Yeah, they are, and they also like it's crazy because it's like some of them will fight like, especially in the first ones, like some of them will fight like 3 times in a night, and I'm like, that's insane. Like to be fighting
What?
that, yeah, like it's crazy. They'll have just like back to not back to back, but like after like they'll fight one fight and then there'll be another one and then they'll fight again all the way up to like the top round. Or I guess they had a different structure where it was more of like a competition. Like it starts out with 10 and then like eventually like 2 at the end. And there's a lot less rules, so there's some crazy shit happening in those. But we could also rewatch like I don't know, like some of the GSP fights or like some of the Khabib fights. Like I really want to do like a Khabib series.
Let's honestly, I'm kind of down for UFC 5 or 6 or something like that. I've
Okay.
never seen any of the old ones outside of like, a few clips here and there, but I just know it's like pretty barbaric and like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all kind of pretty barbaric, not gonna lie. It's fucking somebody, Orlabayev just got, like, an eye knocked out, like, just a few fights ago. It was
oh my
crazy.
God,
Yeah, it was disgusting. It was so gross. It's so gross. Some of the injuries are just not. Mm-mm. Or,
it's
like,
just not it.
I don't remember who it was, but it was, like, 2 of them, and there was, like, there's this picture from the top where his knee is, like, backwards, and then they're totally fine. You're like, you're not totally fine. Your arm is snapped in half. What the fuck? So yeah, and the earlier ones also like I feel like they do more um like fighting style versus fighting style, so it'll be like, sumo versus karate, not a thing. But
Right.
or it'll be like Muay Thai versus karate. Whereas now I feel like the fighters are very well rounded and they do
Yeah,
like
they do a
a
lot of
bit of
hybrid and
everything.
cross training.
Yeah, and especially it like depends on what the fight is. If you want to be training more wrestling or you want to be training more striking or whatever. So it just depends on who's doing who that weekend. Um,
Fair enough.
yeah, but we could
Well,
definitely do UFC 5. That'll be
yeah,
that would be fun.
honestly, let's do that. Yeah, I'm down for that, and then I guess we'll be back next Monday for Raw too.
Yeah, next
Um,
Monday, right?
yeah, next Monday. I know it said 3, but I feel like it's gonna air at 8 as well, or maybe we just have to catch a replay at 8.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not watching at 3 p.m. I got a boring like 9 to 5 to go to.
Yeah, I think that's good. As I won't look at it. I
Yeah,
promise
I'm
not to
more
do
like
any
scrolling the store
research.
than you. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about which day we can do UFC. We could do UFC this week as well, either Friday or
Okay.
Saturday. It doesn't really matter because it's
Okay.
on YouTube, so
Right.
any one of those is good.
Right. Sounds great.
Okay. I will turn off the stream if you wanna. We can stay on for a little bit. I'm just gonna shut the
Yeah, I'm
stream
down.
down, so just stay
All right.
there.
Have a good one, everyone. Nice meeting you all, and I can't wait to see you all again.
have a good night. Thank you everyone who's coming. Thank you everyone who joined us live. And
Hope you all learned
this will
something.
be actually this will be on YouTube at some point. We're gonna figure it out, but we're gonna put the recording on YouTube. So yeah.
Sweet.
Boom. Bye everyone.